this is Calista, also known as Magical Girl Me. Today's video is going to be regarding the 3 things I wish I knew when I first started Lolita fashion. Lolita fashion is a beautiful, elaborate, elegant, whimsical style. I was completely in love with it once I discovered it years ago. As a Lolita that has been interested in the fashion for a while, the information has definitely changed. Instead of having to rely on LiveJournal and Lolita, Gothic and Lolita Bibles, there are now YouTube videos and blogs and all these really cool places to get information. I can definitely see that if you're new or starting your journey with Lolita fashion, that it's really similar to Alice stumbling down the rabbit hole. There's just so much information and things that you are looking to learn, like the brands of Lolita, name brand Lolita stores, indie Lolita brands, terminology that's used when in regards to like different components of a Lolita outfit, or even just with sales or buying. I hope that this video will be helpful to you. These are the 3 things I wish I personally have or was able to explain to myself when getting into the fashion, and I hope that it can help you as well. Let's get started. Number 1, brand Lolita items are obtainable. I can completely understand going to a name brand Japanese website and looking at those dollar signs and thinking, or yen, depending on which store you're looking at, and just being completely blown away by how expensive everything is. That's quite all right. It happens to everyone. I think it's good to get a little sticker shocked. There are ways, however, to obtain Lolita brand name pieces that you love without having to necessarily spend that much on your first few pieces or even future pieces to add to your Lolita wardrobe. Those name brands that you just absolutely adore have sales throughout the year on their products. Even if you go to Angelic Pretty's store, the English store for San Francisco, you can actually see on the sidebar before you get to blouses and jumper skirts and anything like that, it's broken up by how much everything is discounted. So if there's something that you want immediately, that's maybe different, but if you're just looking to maybe add a few brand new items to your wardrobe, you can wait till they're 20, 30, up to 50% off before you purchase those items. I think that's really reasonable. You're still buying it from the shop, but you are saving yourself some money because you're not paying the sticker price. There are tons of places to buy used Lolita items. I really like that this fashion promotes reselling pieces, especially when they come and they're like new or gently used condition. That's absolutely fantastic. There are so many places you can buy these items. Wonderwelt, Closet Child, Lace Market, Facebook groups. Those are just some of the options out there. There are so many places and groups that you can peruse and see if there's something that you want, and you don't have to pay full price for it. Especially if there are pieces that were just didn't happen to be immensely popular with the group. You might be able to get pieces that are like new condition or new at a discounted price because someone just wants it out of their closet, or it doesn't fit into their style anymore. It's a really great way to build up your wardrobe and get those pieces that you want, again, without having to pay full price. Trades are also a really good way for you to get items. Maybe you purchase something and it's really not for you and you want to trade it for something else, you can do that. Sometimes you can even trade non-Lolita items for Lolita items. So one of the first things I happened to get in college was a shirt from Tasty Peach Studios, which was so cute, but it was too large, so I ended up just exchanging it for a couple Lolita accessories, like a headbow and a pair of wrist cuffs, and that was really great because I needed to add them to my wardrobe, and I didn't even have to trade a Lolita item for a Lolita item to do it. That's also a really good way. If you have a larger community of Lolitas, there's a good chance there'll be a swap meet where you can trade pieces there or pay a reasonable amount of money for items from the other people in your Lolita community, which is also really fantastic. Brands offer Fuku Bukuro or Lucky Packs at the end of the year. This is a really great way to get Lolita items bundled together as a Lucky Pack. It usually has multiple pieces of apparel an accessory, and if you're lucky, a bag, and these are discounted, so you can get these pieces and they're not as expensive as if you were to go to the brand shop and buy each and every piece on its own, which is a really great deal. Once you get the basics down, don't be afraid to experiment. It's really important to try new things. If we didn't experiment and change up some things, then the fashion would just fade away. It wouldn't, or it just wouldn't change at all, and everyone would still be in the old school Lolita stage instead of what we have now. I love being able to see someone who has a similar coordinate as last time, but they did their hair differently, and it really changes the look of the outfit, or they made a prop, or they made their dress light up like holiday lights, or anything like that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. We need innovative, creative, positive people to make this fashion grow and to keep interest in it. It wouldn't be any fun if you just plateaued forever and you couldn't think of a way to step up your game or become more successful. There's always going to be like a dream dress and a dream cord or something like that that's going to really push you, which I think is really great. So once you really understand how Lolita works and what makes Lolita fashion, please do experiment. I love seeing all those different things that make an outfit different than before, or taking and borrowing from other kawaii fashions and working that into Lolita. It's just really nice to see how it grows and changes, and how individuals and their understanding of the fashion or their take on it is different. This is a very expressive, individualistic style of fashion, and it wouldn't be any fun if you just didn't add something to it and add your personality to it. That's not what it's about. It's about you. And I, and other Lolitas, I'm sure, want to see you come through your coordinates. Do what feels right. There will be so many, as you probably know if you're new to this fashion, so many YouTube videos and blogs and polls and Amino groups that all tell you exactly what you need to do when you start Lolita fashion. And while it's good to get a first, second, third, and possibly even more opinions on something, it's really important to listen to yourself as well. For example, if you're starting Lolita fashion, many people say you should get a one piece because then you won't have a blouse, so it's not an additional cost. Or that you should start out very small and have Lolita items that you incorporate to your everyday wardrobe before you even attempt Lolita fashion. These are both really great pieces of advice. They're very different. It really comes back to what you're comfortable with. Me personally, I added small Lolita-like elements to my wardrobe, my everyday wardrobe, just because that's what I was comfortable with. That was mainly due to the fact I didn't or wasn't able to express myself through fashion until college. So I was behind everyone else, but that just made me comfortable. Completely just buying a dress and having a full coordinate right off the bat terrified me. So small and steady steps worked for me, and that's what I did. Really listen to yourself. If you have, you don't really like the way it's difficult to coordinate a one piece and you want a jumper skirt, get a jumper skirt. If you have a dream dress, that's like the reason you fell in love with Lolita and you want to save up for it and it fits and that's what you want for your first Lolita piece, do that. It really just needs to come back to you and your personal strengths. Again, this fashion is all about you as an individual and expressing yourself. I feel like that's very fair when it comes to rules, as long as you're sticking to what makes Lolita Lolita and what works for you personally. I think you'll be happier in the long run because you're not going to say, oh, I bought that jumper skirt and blouse when I probably should have actually started out with just like a really fluffy skirt. You want to do what makes yourself comfortable and what will make you happy in the long end, really. So definitely listen to that little voice inside of you. And again, doesn't hurt to get separate opinions or ask veteran Lolitas what their opinions are, but do not just do what everyone says to necessarily do to start. It has to make sense to you as a person. It just does. I feel like it'll click with you when you see it. If you're completely lost, there are newbie Lolita groups that you can go to that can kind of help steer you in a direction that will eventually be a good fit for you. But I think just listen to that little voice inside and that should help you. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts of advice that I wish I could have told myself coming into Lolita fashion, but I hope that they will help any new Lolitas on their journey. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay frilly.